Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another pick a card reading. In today's reading we are going to be focusing on the question, how is your location and or environment affecting you at this present moment whenever you are watching this reading? So we do have 3 piles today. For the first pile we have we're using this Crow Tarot. This is what it looks like. For the second pile, we are using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and this is what it looks like. Last but certainly not least, for pile number 3, we are using the Ask the Witch Tarot, and that's what it looks like. If you all need a moment to reflect, meditate, pause the reading in order to select the pile that calls to you the most. Now keep in mind that you can choose all 3 piles if you'd like, because a lot of us, more than likely, we frequent more than one environment or location every day. So for example, if you go to school, you can choose a pile for school. If you hang out with a crowd of friends on the weekend, you can choose a pile for that versus a group of people you hang out with during the work week. Or it could just be your home versus your workplace, or your home versus school, your home versus your favorite bookstore or bar in another town. So just keep that in mind when choosing a pile. And you know, if all 3 piles call to you for different reasons, then don't hesitate to just select all 3 piles. But without further ado, I don't want to hold the reading up, guys. We're going to jump into it. But before we do, I had one announcement to make for you guys, that I am lowering the prices of my readings for now until the end of this year. For the Great Lock-In, I want to be of service. Okay, so if you guys would like to book a reading, the price and way to contact me will be in the description box below. But for the time being, I am offering 1-hour readings for $44 flat, or 30-minute readings for $22 flat. The way these will be delivered would be through a link that you will forever have access to, and or live phone calls. Those will be $100 flat. Live phone calls, that can be Zoom or telephone, but those will be $100 flat from now until the end of December. And of course I can record the telephone and Zoom meetings if you like. It would be at your request, just so that you have access to it and you can, you know, listen to it whenever you want to. But that's the announcement I had for you guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into the reading. We are going to start with the Crow Tarot, which is pile number 1. I will see you there. Hello, pile number 1, people. Those of you who chose the Crow Tarot, this is going to be a reading. Let's take a look into how your environment and or location is affecting you right now. Okay, so first of all, we have the tarot. In the tarot, we have the 7 of Pentacles upright with the 6 of Swords in the reverse, the 7 of Swords upright, and the Knight of Cups upright. Okay, and automatically what I'm getting is a very stagnant energy. Now, usually the 7 of Pentacles represents a time of reflection. It's about putting the hard work in and then taking a step back to reflect on what you've built, and or waiting on your harvest to reap your harvest, right? So being that it's paired with the 6 of Swords, I feel like you guys are a little bit, some of you guys may be aware of this, but you know that your location or environment is preventing you from moving into the next phase. It's like you've done all you can do in the location or the environment you're at. For some of you guys, the 7 of Pentacles could be work. Okay, and I'm looking at how the crow has turned its back. There could be like an energy of people maybe turning their backs on you in the workplace, or you turning your backs on the workplace or people in the workplace, or it could be a mutual thing here. I'm hearing like gatekeeping. There could be some people trying to gatekeep It's almost like you've reached your maximum capacity at this place, whatever it is. And it's until you realize that, and until you move in a different direction, it's actually preventing you from moving into calmer waters, if you will, with the Six of Swords being in the reverse. Okay, I don't feel like this place gives you a really strong sense of security on a spiritual or soulful level. I feel like it's draining. Maybe materially it provides a sense of security, but with the Seven of Swords here, I feel like it's especially with the Knight of Cups, it's like an illusion of stability, you know, especially if you're going in there every day and you're not getting along with the people for whatever reason, whether it's you or them, you know, and it's bringing your vibration down, y'all. We have vibrations here, and then we have opposition. So in the vibration cards, it talks about how everything and everyone has a vibration. Okay. I do feel like the vibration of this workplace, if it's a workplace for y'all, it's very low vibrational. Okay. You're working with people who are very deceptive, very underhanded. These people like to feed illusions, okay, to keep people stuck. For some of you guys, there could be spell work involved here to keep people tethered to the company. Or if it's not that, it's just a weird energy surrounding this place, okay, that keeps people tethered to it in a way that's unhealthy. I do feel like there's some people in this company or this workplace who, I'm not even going to say some, I feel like it's a lot of people here who are all about themselves and will leave others with less to accommodate themselves and maybe the people they care about or the people they like. Okay. It's almost like taking the most or taking the best for themselves and the people they like, and just leaving a little bit, like leaving crumbs for the rest of you all. Okay. Now we all know with the Seven of Swords, it does not last very long. I don't feel like these are very strategic people, to be honest with you. Okay. Now, if this is like a group of people you've been hanging around, or even just somewhere that you've been living, okay, because of a job, that the job may not necessarily be bad, but you're in a location or you're having to stay in an environment outside of that job in order to keep that job, right? It would apply there as well. Maybe you have a shady landlord, or you have shady roommates who maybe leave the brunt of the responsibilities on you. You're paying most of the bills. Maybe one of them doesn't work. I don't know. It's like a situation where you're picking up most of the slack for someone else or other people. If it's not a job situation, but a living situation. And because of that, it's put you in a position where you feel, I'm not going to say you can't, because it's all in your mind, right? You feel like, or you think or believe that you cannot move because of the situation. It's almost like paralyzing you, right? Job situation, roommate situation, family situation, whatever it is. Okay. But I'm here to tell you that, whatever the scenario, you're working with or you're around people who are very deceptive. Okay. These are people who would rather you be in the dark so that you can get less than you be illuminated and in your power so that they would have to share equally, because they don't want to share equally. Okay. They don't want to treat you equally. They don't want to give to you equally. Okay. And they would rather you be in the dark about it. They would rather you not notice. They would rather you not know. Okay. Okay. So I do feel like at some point in time, this may have been a dream opportunity for you, a dream relationship for you, a dream, friendship scenario for you. But I feel like whatever it was that got you hooked in the first place was the illusion. Okay. So say the job offers really good benefits, right? That's the illusion that got you hooked in the first place. And that's probably, for some of you guys, the reason why you're staying. Okay. I feel like whatever this is, it's kind of sunk its teeth in you. okay, to where you have begun to believe. And I do feel like a lot of this too is you picking up on the vibrations of other people, because I did say witchcraft. It could be witchcraft for some of you guys, but for others of you guys, it could just be the freaking vibration of the environment. Like the environment, the vibration is just extremely low, and it's just kind of like it's seeping onto you. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's slowly, like, it's draining your energy, yes, but it's slowly like replacing your energy with its energy, you know, or their energy. If it's like people, they're trying to like drain your vitality, drain your will. I'm hearing to make you a robot for some of you guys. Like, they just don't want you to see. They don't want you to question things. They just want you to go along to get along. So that they can use you, so that they can drain your vitality. You're putting your vitality, your energy, your essence, your time, your resources into something, a group of people, environment, a job, right? And in return, it's just giving you this. It's not just leaving you empty. Like, that's the crazy part about it. It's feeding you its energy. So, you know, like they say, like, you keep pouring into somebody, like eventually your cup will run dry. It's not like it's running you dry in a sense where it's like you don't have anything. It's feeding you this negative energy to where you may have once been full of ideas and creativity and dreams, right? And that energy is slowly being drained into this business or whatever it is, or this group of people, or this person. Or it could be the land for some of you guys, the location. And I'm going to tap into that in a minute, because I did get a message, a channeled message about the land for some of you guys. And it's seeping your energy out. So it's draining your energy, and it's filling you up or pumping you with its energy of negativity. Because this it's like an energy vampire, if you will. But it's like trying to paint you the way it is, you know? Kind of like what narcissists do, how they kind of like project who they are onto other people in order to distract everyone from the fact that they are a terrible person, right? It's kind of like that, but it's like it's infecting you. It's like an energetic infection. So if you find yourself feeling stagnant, feeling like your hard work is never going to pay off, feeling more depressed, feeling more lethargic, less energy, more negative, less optimistic. This is this energy, this entity leaking onto you. Okay. With the opposition card here, the opposition card speaks to, you know, looking within, like when we feel like we have an opposition with a person, place, or thing, where is that opposition coming from? Okay. Did that person, place, or thing actually do something to us that makes us feel like they are in opposition? Or are we projecting our own energy onto? And I feel like you're around a lot of people who tend to do this to you. Okay. They tend to project this energy of opposition onto you without you having done anything directly to them. Okay. So if you're feeling this energy of like irritability, anger, I just feel like they're turning you into them, you know, this environment or it's turning you into it. Like for some of you guys, you are living on cursed land. Okay. And there was a specific message coming out, you know, especially if you identify as African American, specifically, not just Black, you know, but African American or Caribbean or Indigenous specifically. You are on a land that at some point was cursed, or there's some sort of energetic imprint there to where your kind is not meant to thrive. It is meant to succumb, be oppressed, work slave for until you are sick and die. It doesn't want you to have a mind of your own. It does not want you to have a life of your own. Okay. especially if you identify as African American. And I don't mean like an immigrant, but born and raised for generations, at least 3 generations, right? Oh, I wouldn't even say 3 generations. You are a descendant of slaves, enslaved people. I will say that, and or indigenous people. Okay, especially. Now, if you are another minority, it applies to you as well, but I'm saying it's especially if you are African American or indigenous, Native American. Okay. If you are not, I'm not saying that the message does not apply to you. It's just going to be felt maybe less intense than if you were of one of those 2 races. Okay. This land, like the energetic imprint here, it's meant to cause obstacles for you. It's meant to break you down to the point where you kind of give up, and bend to the will of the system. Okay. So for some of you guys, you may live on land where certain events may have taken place, as far as like race wars, or maybe a prominent person was born where you're from, and since then something weird has happened or taken place there to where they kind of want to prevent anyone else of that caliber rising up. So I'm getting like Gary, Indiana. We know Michael Jackson is from there. Anywhere where, there were Civil War battles, a heavy influence or infiltration of the KKK and things like that. I'm getting like a heavy hatred. So even if it's not like a spell or a curse, it's like the hatred is so dense there, it left like an energetic imprint. And so you're feeling the residue of this. You're feeling the residuals, okay? And I'm not saying, because we know America has like a really shady past, right? So I'm not saying like, if you are Native American or indigenous, that you can't live anywhere in the United States, because that's not true. There are certain places that have the energy is too powerful for hatred to be the dominant energy. Okay. And in those places, you'll see a heavier population of it. It'll be more of a mix, and the vibration will be a little lighter. Okay. Because there's just so many. It's too culturally different for the minority group of hateful people to dominate. But if you live in an area that is predominantly, and that's not to say that all people of a certain race are, bad people, but if you have a group, or you're in a location where most of the people are bad people, then you can only imagine, what the energetic, frequency is going to be in those types of locations, because you are going to be the minority there. You want to be in places where you're not going to be a minority to a group of hateful people. Okay. And a lot of people, even if they look like you, may have succumbed to the same energetic frequency, right? And to where they become hateful, they become self-hating, and because they're self-hating, they hate other people who look like them. Okay. And so, the trash is taking itself out, if you will. The system is working in itself. I don't know how to put that. Kanye West, it was actually a video I watched the other day. He said, self-hatred is like the real estate of racism. That's what he said. Maybe look at that video. It made a lot of sense, and that's what I'm getting here. It's kind of like, if there is a population of people who do look like you, do share a similar background as far as, ethnicity and race and things like that, it's almost like they've been infected successfully, whereas they're attempting to infect you. I don't think it's successfully worked yet. But if you're feeling like, why am I stagnant? Why are doors closing? Why am I not able to manifest? This is why. There's just, the frequency, the negativity is far too strong in this area. And I'm not even going to say, you know, because if you're a witch or somebody who practices and, you know, knows anything about energy and alchemy and things like that, I can easily say, you know, just cleanse your house and, you know, just wear crystals and keep crystals at your desk. In a lot of situations that may work, but because the energy is so strong, because it's so many, it's not gonna work as easily as, you know, just doing cleansing work and things like that. Yeah, over time, yes, but I feel like you would have to have other people assisting in this energy work for it to have any sort of like lasting impact. You know what I'm saying? So, man, pile number one. I feel like the environments that you are in, it breeds a certain mentality in people. And I hate to say that, and it's really unfortunate, especially in 2025, because it's like, what the heck are people doing? There's so much information out here, so many things you can learn, so many different techniques you can use to like change your mind frame and raise your vibration, your frequency, to still be in this mode of being hateful and vindictive and, you know, opposing people because just out of pure jealousy. I get like a lot of crabs in a barrel energy here. But another thing I want to touch on with the opposition card, it's like, if you have an opposition who they haven't done anything directly to you, and it's not affecting your quality of life, like to look at why you may feel like that towards a person. I feel like that's more so towards the types of people who live in your area. I feel like they harbor this type of energy to where they look at everyone as opposition, everyone who is different than them, everyone who poses a threat, anyone who reflects back to them their inadequacies or insecurities in some way, because they've been conditioned to see themselves as less than, and looking at you break outside of that mold and believe in yourself just triggers something in them negatively. But then the other side of the opposition card, it's like, if these people have done something wrong to you, you know, or the location even, it's not just you being negative, then, you know, take a look at why you may be holding on to that person, place, situation, right? I do feel like you being in this environment or you living in this location has served its purpose of strengthening your third eye. Okay, because I've been in situations like this, and let me tell you, you feel like you're going crazy because it's like a lot of people, they're not going to be what do you call it, overt about their hatred. It's going to be a lot of subtleties. You know, it's going to be hard to read between the lines. Did they really mean what I think they meant when they said that? Are these people purposely trying to isolate me? Are they purposely trying to say and do things to take jabs at my confidence and make me look at myself as less than? It's never going to be like an overt, like, I hate you, you're a bad person, I hate you, and all that. Like, it's never going to be directly to you. It may be to people around you, and next thing you know, you have people looking at you crazy, like, so and so told me you're X, Y, and Z, and I shouldn't trust you, and all this, that, and third, right? It's very subtle, okay? And I feel like you being in this, you're beginning to learn how to, I'm hearing for some of you guys, read minds. You know, outside of energy, you're beginning to, this has been the ultimate test for you. I feel like there's been certain situations where you've thought certain things were taking place or being said about you, or even just energetic things happening with the land. Like, you know, everyone who lives here lives a certain way, and it's hard for them to kind of, you know, break out of a certain cycle and elevate and flourish, you know, and prosper, right? Even if it's that, like, you've become aware of something like that, and I feel like you've begun to hear certain things for some of you guys, or see certain things. And it's been a test because, like I said, you'll hear something or feel something, you'll know something, and you're not sure how you know it. And you may think that you're being delusional or you're overthinking situations. And then something happens to confirm exactly what you saw, heard, or were intuitively downloaded information about. Okay. And I feel like this is like the divine working to strengthen your spiritual gifts, because evil does dwell in this place and we don't have to accept it into our lives. We do have to accept that it's out there and to not let it affect us, that it doesn't have to affect us in certain ways. I also get that this is a lesson in how resilient you are, number one, but two, how are you able to let things go? Are you strong enough to let something that is so familiar to you go? Are you able to trust in the divine, God, source, creator, whatever you believe in, when you're getting this intuition that you're in the wrong place, that you're around the wrong people, that you need to move, that you need to leave, right? Can you trust yourself and the divine that you are making the right decision when you walk away from people, places, and things that are not serving you? Okay. I feel like this situation is also serving you to open your eyes to and latch on to the life that you want to live, a life that is in alignment with you. Sometimes we have to suffer so bad in order to say enough is enough. Okay, sometimes we have to go through the ringer before we decide enough is enough. Sometimes there are things we have to see and lessons we have to learn, and we can't be pulled out too prematurely because the lesson would not be learned. Okay. So I pulled additional cards here. We also got the crown chakra and possessions. With possessions here, like even just the imagery on this card, it's giving very, demonic, dare I shall say. But we got a lot of sevens here as well. We have the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords. This is a 7 card, and the crown chakra is 7. It's the 7th chakra, right? And so what I'm getting with this, 7 is a number of divine completion. It's a number of manifestation, things coming full circle, completion, and things like that. But I'm also getting with this possessions card, it's kind of like you guys may be around a lot of people who, because they're so low vibrational, have given certain dark entities access to them and are not even necessarily themselves. So you think you're being attacked by people, but it's actually low vibrational energy that's trying to get you to join it. Ooh. You know that expression, misery loves company? I do feel like there's a demonic presence wherever you're located, or in this environment, this particular location or this particular environment, that is trying to recruit souls. Okay. And some people have fallen victim to it, and it's trying to get you to convert. And I feel like that's that energy I was getting. I was seeing that visual of that energy leaking onto you. It's kind of like trying to, insert itself inside of you and slowly bring you down to where now you are a part of this mess, right? But also with this possessions here, if you guys have financial difficulties, or you feel like you've reached a ceiling and it's like you're wanting an increase, but you can't for whatever reason, it feels like the doors are closed and the roads are blocked, it's because of this energy that I was telling you about. I don't feel like it's meant for you to flourish wherever you are. I'm just being completely 100% honest with you, pile number 1. And I do feel like once you move away, those doors will begin to open for you again. But I do feel like it's going to take a leap of faith. This is a test, okay? This is definitely a test. And I feel like, if you choose to stay here, eventually, this low vibrational energy is going to get you. And I don't mean to say that in a way to like scare anybody, but I feel like over time you're going to become more jaded, more negative. You're going to begin to adopt more traits of the people in the environment you're in. Okay. Unfortunately, I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. But I feel like the difference between you and a lot of people is your clear sight, your spiritual abilities, and your unwillingness to settle. I feel like I don't have to tell you that you need to move, that you need to quit this job or whatever the case may be. And I'm not telling you to go and quit your job tomorrow. Like, I'm not trying to tell you to be financially irresponsible, pile number one. But it's time to start planning your escape. Okay? It's time to start believing in yourself, because I know this energy is so strong and it's trying to leave you with nothing but darkness. Okay? So the laziness, the procrastination, the negativity, the pessimism, that's what it's trying to infect you with. Okay? And you have to wake up every day and choose to go against it, unfortunately, until you break it, until you've freed yourself completely of it. But I feel like in the meantime, you have this divine protection with the crown chakra here. Yes, you've been submerged into the pits of hell, to roam amongst these demonic low vibrational entities. But God gave you the sight to see that you don't belong there. Okay, the wisdom to know that you don't belong there and that you can change your situation at any time you choose. Okay. And I was saying, it's time to start planning your escape. And we have practice daily as your advice from spirit, which pretty much says, in the guidebook, that you need to focus every day towards working towards your goals, little by little, no matter how small it is. Okay. And, laying foundations of meditation here, pineal activation. You guys are very spiritual people. I can already see it with the crown chakra, all of these cards here, and on top of that, you're highly, highly, highly intelligent. So I would say, don't play small, pile number one, and don't allow this negative energy to infiltrate you to where you feel like you are too much of anything or not enough of anything. Okay? Because you're too big, you're too bright for the environment that you find yourself in now. But you have learned a lot in that environment or at that location. Okay? And we have the wishing well, which obviously it speaks to itself. It's just about making a wish and leaving the rest to the divine. Are you too afraid to ask for that shift? Are you too afraid to ask for that strength to let go? The courage to let go? Not knowing what may be on the other side? Because what you've been in is so familiar. Are you too afraid to ask for a better life because what you've known and what you're in currently is familiar? Even though it's slowly killing you spiritually and on a soul level. Okay? All right. So I also want to take, before I close the reading, we're going to take a look into like the alchemical, reasoning for this on a spiritual level. But before we do that, I wanted to mention too that, I was picking up on that energy of like the land being cursed. I don't feel like it was like an indigenous curse, where sometimes, I see these videos all the time where they'll go to like certain places that are haunted, and you'll see like certain entities and creatures manifest that aren't really, physically there. But that's not what I'm getting here. I'm getting like a curse of like, it's just pure hatred, that has unfortunately infected so many people in that area or in that environment that it's sad. It's like one group of people hating another group of people because they are different, right? And then those people who are being hated and oppressed over time beginning to hate themselves and hate people who reflect or mirror themselves, as far as, physical attributes and certain characteristics, personality and things like that. It's where it's really hard to flourish. It's really hard to flourish where you are, pile number one. Okay. They say it's always darkest before the dawn. I do feel like with this practice daily card, it's like this bright energy in the middle of this drab, right? That your salvation is going to be, yourself and your gifts and your ability to use your gifts and not allow them to go to waste, you know, which is going to catapult you out of this cycle of waiting for your harvest. Because we have a lot of 7s, right? And then this is an 8, where I feel like you finally break through and that harvest comes through. Whereas like right now you're waiting, like maybe you put the effort in, you put the time in, you feel like you're due for a promotion or you're due for this increase in money. Even if it's your own business, but it's like, it's just not happening. And it's because the location, it's because of the area, it's because of your environment, the people, places, and things you're hanging around, right? But it's like, once you do the work and you align yourself and you start taking meaningful, purposeful, intentional action towards your goal, you're going to break out of this. And you're going to see another side, a more positive loop of karma. Okay, so I feel like what you're going through now is definitely a karmic cycle. Okay, and a lot of times we attribute karmic to people, but karmics can be land, it can be environments, it can be jobs, it can be friend groups, it can be family. I feel like what you're going through now is definitely a karmic cycle, pile number 1, and it's going to end with you choosing to do something different, you choosing to take a leap of faith. Okay. All right, so we have the moon, 10, and summer. And for some reason, I feel like this is like going in chronological order. Okay, so I feel like you're here. You know, you're dealing with the subconscious. You're dealing with all of these fears and unconscious doubts and all that stuff, right? Self-limiting belief systems and all that. And then you go to 10, which is represented by Jupiter, or associated with the energy of Jupiter, I should say. And that's all about expansion and, you know, allowing yourself to expand, essentially. The moon in this alchemical deck speaks to being receptive and patient, that it's a time for reflection or rest even, and to not rush the process or take it for granted, because in this moon phase you are becoming more intuitive, you are listening more to yourself, because you're seeing the stark contrast between you and your environment. You're starting to realize it, you're starting to become aware of it, right? But you need time to heal from that, because that's a stark, that's a oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. It can be a startling revelation, you know, depending on how attached you are to the people, places, and things you start having these revelations about. Okay. And then you do also need time to reflect or think about what action you're going to take. Okay. With the 10 card here, I feel like that's the second phase of this. Okay. And just a second, I'm getting my book out. Malleable, expansive Jupiter. When this card appears, you may have reached a limit or a breaking point after taking on more than is logistically possible under the circumstances. Don't take this juncture personally. More strength is required before taking the next steps to support the expansion you see in your mind. Okay. So I feel like in the 10, I feel like when you're watching this, you're probably in this energy of like the 10, to be honest with you, where, you know, you reach your breaking point, right? And I feel like that breaking point opens up the realization that you are in the wrong place, but that you have everything in your power to change that situation. That maybe you've been burning the candle at both ends and you've been running yourself thin, and it's reflecting on what you've gotten out of that, out of wearing yourself thin. And for a lot of you guys, you're realizing it's not a lot. Okay, and that maybe you have something around asking for help and or accepting help fully and without shame, right? Which I do feel like is a part of this karmic cycle. Okay, but then we finally get to the summer where your wishes are finally being granted and you have things to celebrate. But in alchemy, we know that, you know, even though we're experiencing something extremely positive, it's not going to be long lasting. It's not going to be forever. However, it is going to be a solid foundation for a new chapter in your life where you no longer have to experience this low of lows. Okay, we're always going to have our ups and downs, but to be submerged in this type of energy, it's chaos. It's torturous for a lot of people, you know, depending on the type of person you are, you know, especially if you're extremely empathetic, which I feel like a lot of you guys are. You're picking up on all of this negativity and it's slowly affecting you in ways that are not ideal, that some of you guys may not even be fully aware of. Okay, but this stagnant energy that you may be feeling, or you feeling like certain things are being delayed, it's because you're taking on this negative, low vibrational energy. Okay, and to counter it, you have to put as much effort or more into yourself and your purpose and your goals. Okay, and that's going to keep you going. It's going to make so that you don't cave in and give in to whatever this low vibrational energy is. Okay, and in due time, you know, what you ask for, you shall receive, as long as you're doing the necessary work and, you know, making the necessary changes. But pile number 1, that has been your reading. If you guys resonated, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you guys on another one. Bye. Hello, pile number 2 people. Those of you who chose the Cosmic Slumber Tarot deck, this is going to be a reading. Let's take a look into how your environment or location is affecting you, whichever environment or location this is, if you sucked in more than one pile. Okay, so this environment, pile number 2, or this location, is offering you the gift of healing and transformation. Okay, I do see a huge surge of mental clarity coming through. For some of you guys, you could be going through like a Saturn return, or you're coming out of a Saturn return where you're going through that major I don't know how to put it, like maturity boost, where you're getting clear on who you are at a soul level, what your desires are, how certain people, places, things, situations, and circumstances have affected you, whether it be positively or negatively, and choosing with your own free will how you allow those things to affect you or not affect you. Okay. I do feel like some of you guys, you're coming out of period of time where you may have been self-deprecating, self-hating, a lot of low self-esteem, maybe substance abuse issues for some of you guys, or over-reliance on other people, places, and things to make you feel secure, pretty much not understanding or knowing your own power or who you were. Okay, which caused you to rely on other people or other things outside of yourself to give you that sense, that false sense of security or self, right? I feel like you guys are no stranger to heartbreak, pile number 2. You're no stranger to hard times, but I feel like through all of this, you're finding the wisdom in these experiences that will help you transform and grow into the person that you are transforming into. Okay, I do feel like wherever you are located in the world, I do feel like this has a lot to do with location for some of you guys. Even if it's like a town you're traveling to, or another state you're traveling to, or somewhere you've been before. right? And you like wherever that place is, and you would like to spend more time there. You want to know how it's affecting you, or how it affected you. I feel like wherever this is, it's by a lot of water, okay? And you being by this water, you know, the vibration, the frequencies, the airwaves, it's affecting you very positively. It's allowing you the space to heal, okay? There is a vibrational, there's something vibrationally occurring here, okay? As somebody who's gone through spiritual awakening, it's not as loud as a lot of people, you know, would like to think it is, where like you just wake up one day and you start believing in conspiracy theories, and you know, everyone is an op and an enemy all of a sudden. But no, it's very quiet a lot of times. You know, suddenly, you know, surely over time, you start to begin to accept certain things. Certain things no longer affect you in the same way they did. You're starting to see life differently, relationships differently, people differently. You start to find yourself having the capacity to forgive because you're able to understand things deeper. And as a result, you start having more compassion, you know, and you start realizing the fragility of life and how short life is, and how not to be attached to things, and how not to take things personally. But this is something that is slowly, you know, happening. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you know, wherever you are or the environment you're in, it's also giving you a sense of like stability and belonging, and feeling like you can finally root yourself somewhere, even if it's not particularly a place. It's like you're now rooted in yourself, okay? And from there, if you have a solid foundation within yourself, you can pretty much do whatever you set your mind to in this world, because it's going to be hard to sway you one way or another if it's not in alignment with you know. For example, somebody can't just come in and offer you a bunch of money to be in a relationship with them if you don't feel aligned to that, if you don't feel aligned to that person, okay? You're not just going to take a job just because you need a job if it's not aligned with you, okay? I feel like you're at a point now where you would rather chase your dreams and, you know, do the things that make you happy, versus allowing yourself to be around people, places, and things that drain you and prevent you from being in that full expression of yourself, okay? And I feel like this is a very stable and solid foundation to build from, because going back to the relationship or the job thing, once you start building from a place of need or desperation or, you know, lack, survival, those things that we build on that foundation, they're not going to be solid, you know. They're almost always going to be illusionary in some aspect, you know, feeling like that person, place, or thing completes you or gives you a sense of validation that is not true. Yeah, I get like a serene energy here. Some of you guys could be on like a sacred Native American land, whether you know about that or not. The land could be blessed. And if you're not in America, don't mind me. That would just be for somebody who is in America. But for others, you guys, you could be living near spiritual temples or religious temples somewhere in the world. Or, you know, I'm hearing the Oracle of Delphi. Is that Oracle of Delphi or Delphi? I don't know how you pronounce that. But something where like maybe a prophet or an ascended master frequented. I'm not sure if there would have been a recorded history, but if you are into history and geography and things like that, I would maybe look into that and maybe take a look into like the longitude, latitude, and how it aligns with the stars and things like that. Yeah, I feel like there's a powerful energy wherever you are, a very powerful, positive energy. Okay. Even if it's inside your home because of the way you've cultivated it. Maybe you have a lot of plants and a lot of crystals and a lot of books and, you know, oils, and maybe you're practicing witch or healer or priest or priestess. I don't know, but for some of you guys, when you get home, you feel this peace, you feel relaxed, you feel like you can create. It inspires you to create, and Spirit is saying you should act on that, and that it does not matter where in the world you are located, as long as you are firm and rooted within yourself. Okay. All right, so pile number 2, that has been your reading. If you guys resonated with this one, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel called to. I hope to see you guys on another reading. Bye. Having a core foundation, a core like set of principles and morals, and this is what I like and this is what I don't like, and this feels good and this doesn't feel good to me. Having a sense of that and standing on that and setting boundaries around that, whatever you build on that is going to be long lasting, because it's something that's coming from you. It's not coming from, I want people to perceive me a certain way. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm going to get in this relationship even though I don't like this person. It's not coming from a place of like lack or fear, right? But I feel like that's where you all are, pile number 2. This environment or location is giving you a surge of confidence and clarity that you probably didn't have prior. Okay. I do feel like with Sirius energy here, you may be in a hot spot for like UFO activity, whether you know about it or not. I do feel like there's just a strong presence of extraterrestrial beings, okay, if you will, and or the energy, because Sirius is a constellation, so it could just be the way the wherever you are is aligned geographically to the stars or the constellation of Sirius, and how that energy is beaming in and giving you this clarity or assisting you somehow. Okay, they do say that whales and dolphins have a connection to Sirius. I know dolphins for sure. I'm not sure about whales and orcas, but I do feel like I've heard that somewhere. But you guys, how this is affecting you, this location or this environment, it's allowing you to dive deep. Okay. It's allowing you to dive deep within yourself. It's allowing you to connect the dots, you know, with people, places, and situations. It's allowing you to, you know, unchain yourself to the things that once bound you, people, places, and things. I do feel like you guys are feeling more self-disciplined because of this newfound clarity. It's like you finally have direction, and that sense of direction is giving you the discipline and determination you need to be successful. Okay. Now, because we have all this foundation stuff here, I didn't even think about this until now. So for some of you guys, this could be your home. Okay. This environment. Okay. It could be your home, or people you live with, or it could be somebody you're in a relationship with. This could even be family for some of you guys. But for others of you guys are breaking out of this mold, this box, this prism that you were once in. Okay, so this could be like shedding old belief systems that may have been passed down to you generationally, or even just through societal programming and all of that conditioning. And choosing to start all over. Some of you guys could be dismantling everything you built or you have in order to move locations, or maybe you ditched a group of friends, or, you know, you ditched a workplace to go somewhere else, and this is a new environment. But whatever it is for you, for some of you guys, you did have to dismantle something in order to step into this new place or environment that you are in now. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get advice from Spirit. Your reading is pretty straightforward, pile number 2. we have tap into primal power and compass. Now compass speaks to, you know, being at home wherever you are, as long as you are tapped in and aligned with your higher self. Okay. And that's the energy I was getting with this hexahedron and the foundation here. I feel like this foundation is more so of an internal foundation. And so it's kind of like wherever I go or whatever I do, I have this strong sense of self, and I know I will be successful, and I know I will be safe and protected and taken care of, because, you know, I'm doing things that are in alignment with me and my higher power. Okay. I feel like you guys, your higher power is focused on more positive and expansion, creation with this tap into primal power. Spirit is urging you to do things more creative, to follow that urge to create whatever it is. You don't have to be an artist who paints or even makes music. Whatever your soul is urging you to create, it could be a book. It could be a platform. You know, it could be YouTube videos. It doesn't matter what it is. If your soul is urging you to create something at this moment, Spirit is telling you to tap in, even if it takes you to another location. Okay, don't be afraid to move wherever your heart or your higher self, higher power is urging you to move. For some of you guys, it could be they're urging you to move your body more. Okay, to release certain energies, because you are going through a healing process. You are releasing things. Moving your body could help, you know, remove any, you know, stuck energy or energy that hasn't been shed yet. But hello, pile number 3 people. Those of you who chose the Ask the Witch Tarot deck, this is going to be your reading. Let's take a look into how this environment and or location is affecting you. Okay, so we have the tarot, we have the Queen of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. I'm getting the feeling that some of you guys have chosen to isolate yourself, okay? Due to maybe too many betrayals. One betrayal that kind of hurt really bad or stung you really bad. I do feel like I'm getting like a sense of like numerous betrayals in friendships and maybe relationships that have led you into a period of solitude. Maybe even for some of you guys, it urged a move, or it like inspired a move to a different location, or it's inspiring those feelings. Okay. For some of you guys, though, I feel like you've already moved to a different location. I do feel like whatever this location is, it's probably full of nature. For some of you guys, water. Some of you guys may have a garden. You spend time in your garden reading, or I'm speaking from someone's imagination. This is what you're imagining. But for those of you where this is a location, though, if you live near water, the vibration is helping you cleanse and heal, as well as tap more into your intuition and that motherly energy, compassion, and love. You guys are subconsciously attracting love to your life. I feel like you guys are more open to love, whether you are aware of that or not. For others of you guys, if you're already in a relationship, it's just inspiring you to connect more deeply with your lover. Okay. And then for others of you guys, maybe you're having fond memories of a lover, and the water is helping you tap more into that. Okay, let's see. For some of you guys, you may have become kind of jaded with your area, wherever you're living at, and you've kind of lost sight of the beauty of the land. Okay. The Spirit is urging you to get out and explore more. Okay. Some of you guys may have found yourself in a dark place due to these betrayals. And it's kind of like, I've been through this before, actually, where it's like you're going through something, whether it's like relationships, financial, where you feel like there's like a dark cloud over you, and you kind of lose motivation to do anything, and you kind of just don't see anything except your problems. You could be in like the most beautiful place in the world, and because you have these problems, you can't focus on the beauty of what's around you. And I feel like for some of you guys, that's kind of what's happened here. And for some of you guys, this could have been triggered by, again, a painful ending, but this painful ending inspiring you to just kind of like, it's kind of like somebody losing everything, or losing a significant relationship, or something going awry, and then just choosing to just be like, you know what, I have nothing left to lose here. I'm just going to go ahead and take the leap of faith and move to a whole nother country, or move to another state or another city that I've always wanted to live in. Okay. Or even if it's a random place, it's just kind of like, I've always wanted to live next to the water, and this opportunity presented itself. So here I am living in Australia from, you know, moving from Nevada in the United States or something. That's just an example. But it's kind of like getting there. You know, maybe some of you guys are alone. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, some of you guys are alone. You're isolated, maybe isolated from people that you once knew. Okay. But whatever this is, it's allowed you to focus more on your craft. It's allowed you to focus more on your self-care, your self-love, and your hobbies. Some of you guys could have written a book, or you've read a lot of books. I don't know what the heck happened there. You're able to focus more on work, your projects, and things like that. It's definitely allowed you to cleanse your energy. I'll tell you that, pile number 3. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a location. It's definitely allowed you to kind of take a step back from, like, I feel like a lot of you guys, you were just a part of like the hustle and bustle, okay, in some capacity, even if you just lived around it, or it was just the location, like the energetic vibration, like the energetic frequency of that particular location. Wherever you are now, it's more slowed down. It's giving you a time to, like, wow, I'm so jealous, pile number 3. But it's kind of like, now I can, you know, just relax. Okay. I feel like there's less pressure here wherever you are. Okay. And there's definitely a powerful spiritual energy there. It has that, wherever you are, it has a lot of potential to help you unlock new doors in your spiritual journey. Okay. I feel like wherever you are, it's kind of reminded you of your power as well. And it as a result, like, because witchcraft is only as powerful as our belief in it, right? And the more powerful your belief, the more powerful your workings, right? Even if you're not a witch, but you're just somebody who visualizes and manifests and things like that, even if it's just prayer, the energetic, I don't know what I keep trying to say, okay? The energetic sequence, I don't know, but the energetic resonance, I don't know what I'm trying to say, of the land, like the vibration of the land, it's kind of like, it's giving you more power, more spiritual power. I'll say that. Man, I just feel like I just keep getting like the energy and like the feeling of somebody just being washed over, almost like a baptism. You know, it's like, if, for example, if you live in the Western world and you chose to move to a quote unquote less developed country, it's almost like you're being cleansed of like all of the pollution. And I mean pollution in every aspect: spiritual pollution, mental pollution, physical pollution. You're being cleansed of that, or you have been cleansed of that, and now you're able to see and think more clearly. However, I do believe, like, at some point, or you may be going through this or struggling with this now, it's like struggling to see the beauty because whatever feelings you may have been going through or went through prior to moving or leaving, kind of like lingering and haunting you. For some of you guys, it could just be the feeling of being somewhere new. Okay, with this difficulty in the beginning, growing pains, doubts and fears, inexperience, vulnerability. It's kind of like, this is all new to me. I'm being vulnerable here by taking this leap of faith and moving somewhere I don't know anybody, or starting over, whatever the case may be for you. And it's crazy that I'm saying this, because we literally have traveling, adventure, moment, coping with unfamiliarity, a pilgrimage, aloneness, broadening your horizons. Whatever this is teaching you so much. Pile number 3. I just want to say that, you know, even if you don't stay here by yourself very long, it's definitely teaching you a lot, okay? Spiritually. Now, back to like the spiritual aspect, I do feel like whatever land or location you're at, it has a lot of ancient wisdom. Like there's like coding in the land, vibration, certain rituals were performed there at some point. And you're able to, if you activate, you know, with this initiation card to a certain level, you'll be able to access this information. Okay. Some of you guys, they could have like certain bookshops and stores and spiritual shops where you're learning more information about spiritual things. Okay. You are expanding your spiritual knowledge. I feel like some of you guys are maybe learning certain spiritual concepts that you never thought you would have learned, or never would have thought existed. Okay. I do feel like whatever this is, you did have difficulties with it in the beginning, and maybe that's why you're on this reading. Like, maybe this is not the place for me because I feel like I'm not safe. But I feel like this feeling of not safe is like, I feel like you guys are not used to being vulnerable. Okay. And whatever this move is, it's put you in a vulnerable position. Okay. You are advised to kind of learn the ways of the people in this place first, and kind of maybe get to know certain people first before, you know, just fully presenting yourself and showing, you know, all of who you are. You know, just kind of hide certain aspects until you feel completely comfortable or gotten to know certain people or enough people. But other than that, you know, you guys have nothing to fear. You know, as far as trusting yourself to do the right thing, because I feel like your path is being divinely led. And so whatever you're being led to, whether it's like a bookshop around the corner or, you know, a secret watering hole, you're, as I say that, like literally, just, you know, just dive in, you know. For some of you guys, this could just be a place that you travel to, or you're about to travel to, or you're vacationing at now. Okay. But Spirit is saying you're going to travel to lands that really open your mind and perspective on life and the world just by stepping foot on them. It's like Spirit is giving me like the feeling of like a reset. It's like stepping onto foreign soil, you know, from wherever you are based, going to a different country and touching foot on that soil of another country, and just immediately that increase in vibration, having your battery recharged and being reset. I feel like this energy you're getting, it's kind of allowing you to tap into your that collective consciousness, to where you may start getting like crazy ideas, expansive ideas, you know, and it's because your mind is free of all of that pollution from the developed world. Okay. I feel like you're seeing more clearly, you're feeling more clearly, but of course there's still going to be doubts because it's uncharted territory for you. Okay. So, I mean, that's expected. We're going to get some advice from Spirit for the situation. We have another 9. and 3 plus 6 is 9. So like pile number 1 had a lot of 7s. You guys are having a lot of 9s. So 9 is the number of solitude, and it's also another number of completion. So you guys could definitely have ended a cycle, especially with that 10 of swords there, and you're entering into a new one. You know, right after the 9 is the 10, which becomes a 1. It reduces to 1, which indicates a new chapter, a new journey you're embarking on. Spirit wants you to just have fun, to play, to allow your heart to be open to new experiences and new people, as long as you feel safe and aligned. Okay. Understand you're very powerful, and I feel like wherever this location is, it's reminding you of that. Okay. And then for those of you guys where this is an environment, okay, you're just around, sorry, a little gnat, fruit fly flew in my face. Okay. But anyways, if this is like an environment, like it's literally you and nature. Okay. That's honestly how I can like put it. It's just you and nature. Like maybe you're going outside and you're allowing your feet to touch the bare ground. You're sitting next to bodies of water and meditating and reading, and you know, this is how the environment is affecting you. It's positively. It's allowing you a space to heal and cleanse. And it's allowing you to feel more free. Okay? More independent, more free. All right, pile number 3. I think we're going to leave it there. If you guys resonated with the reading, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe if you feel called to. I hope to see you guys on another reading. Bye.